they want to partner with someone who's doing more deals ahead of time, we'll have to figure out what that'll look like on our side.
Gotcha. Okay,
Hmm.
well, we'll go, I guess, more deep into it, and then we'll ask the questions as they come available. So it's 6 o'clock now. I'm just going to give everyone a quick intro for our guest here so far today. We're still going to give a couple more minutes for people to log in. I know a lot of people are like,
Yeah,
first day
we're
back, right? It's a Monday. It's not really Tuesday. It's still Monday.
it's Tuesday all day long. It's closer to Friday. So yeah, and I've got plenty of time here. So no rush. You guys do your thing, and we'll just share as much as we can with you.
Absolutely. So just for everyone so far that's listening, like she said, bring your questions on. We have the chat box on the bottom. You also have the question and answer area. Feel free to use either or, whatever works best for you. We'll make sure that I'll make sure that I at least let Terri know about the questions as they're coming in, and then we'll also maybe we'll save some time at the end also for more question and answer, so that if there's anything maybe that she didn't touch on that you wanted to know more about, feel free to ask it towards the end. And one last thing, I said this before for the few people that were on earlier, network, network, network. Use the chat box, let people know where you are, what you're looking to do, what you're looking for, whether you're looking for joint ventures, whether you're looking for deals and you need wholesalers, whether you're looking or EXP here in this case. There's lots of people that are going to be watching, listening. So put your information in there, let them know, and start your deal. All
You
right.
ready?
I'm ready. Yeah, let's go for it.
Max, are you recording this too by any chance?
I am recording this so this way everyone will know about this.
Fantastic. All right. So, hello, everyone. Unfortunately, the way my screens are set up, I can't see anybody but me and Max. So, Max, I'm talking to you today. So, my name is Terri Jefferies. I'm the manager of iBuyer Development. Also with me is Julie Rasmussen. Julie is the Express Offers Program Manager. And we are coming to you today to talk a little bit about Express Offers. So, um, not quite sure how much anybody knows about EXP Realty, so I'm just going to kind of give you a 10,000-foot view of EXP Realty before we roll into our proprietary software. So EXP Realty is a national brokerage. We have over 35,000 realtors currently from coast to coast, all 50 states. And in our Express Offers platform, we require our agents to take about 7 hours worth of training before they can participate in this program. So EXP is quite a bit different. It's not like the brokerage in your backyard with the brick and mortar office on the corner, and there's a managing broker, and then there's sponsored agents under that managing broker who just work in that local territory. We have, again, 34,000 agents from coast to coast. Express Offers is a national platform. So if any of you investors are buying in multiple states, we can accommodate that for you. We've got several buyers on our platform right now that buy in multiple states, so they're kind of loving this. So our agents go through the training program. They're taught how to look at buy boxes that have been created by our investor clients. They're taught some of the vocabulary. They're taught some of the investment strategies. And really our training is designed to bridge the gap between the typical residential realtor and the investor mindset. So we want to teach them we do teach them some investment strategies, and because a lot of times they just don't know how to think like you, and we want them to think like you. So let me tell you, give you oh, well, there I am. There's me and Julie. We're here with you today. So EXP Realty built a proprietary iBuying software platform called Express Offers that allows EXP agents to connect their clients with institutional buyers who buy in cash within a short time frame. This exclusive new tool will allow agents to provide more convenient options for their sellers. So you guys, I mean, being in the institutional investor world, you know that this whole iBuying craze started probably about well, at least for us in the real estate industry, last spring, a year ago spring. And we started hearing about companies like Opendoor, OfferPad, Zillow Offers, and now we have Realtor.com, who is jumping in the mix as well. So EXP Realty basically had to come up with a solution where we could provide a marketplace of buyers for our agents. The big three, as I call them, and the big three, Opendoor, OfferPad, Zillow Offers, the big three, they are heavily funded corporations, a lot of venture capital that came into the marketplace with the sole objective to buy houses and, of course, flip them. Now, we know the big three have a very narrow buy box. Okay, they like that low-hanging fruit. They like things that they can easily find an automated valuation model to establish value for the property. So, they like 3-bedroom, 2-bath, ranch, cookie cutter subdivision, not more than 20 years old, and that's what they like to buy. Well, we also know that the big three, because they've been at this for about 5 years now and have spent billions with a B, billions of dollars marketing directly to the consumer. Okay. Problem is that in the beginning they tried to cut the realtor out of the transaction, which was very harmful to them because the consumer goes onto a website, does a few clicks, before they know it, they have an offer. They think, okay, great, cool, I got an offer. I'm going to close in 10 days and I'm going to run all the way to the bank smiling because I have my money. And I tell a story in the training class. It's like, that's great until they're invited back to the neighborhood in, I don't know, 60 days. The old neighbor's having a cocktail party. They go back and the guy says, hey, John's house down the street's for sale and it just sold. And the seller's like, yeah, cool, that's fine. You know what the seller got? Well, that seller got $40,000 more than you did. And of course, the original seller was like, wait, what? What do you mean he got $40,000 more? Well, it's because the sellers don't know what the sellers don't know, right? And so we need to keep the realtor in the transaction. We need to be able to aggregate all of the offers for our seller clients, lay them out in a side-by-side comparison, and then be able to let the seller make the most informed decision. Okay, so our marketplace of buyers, we've got a mix of buy and hold, we've got a mix of fix and flip, we've got some land buyers, and we've got a couple guys out in New York who are talking about wanting to look at commercial deals. So that's going to be new and interesting for us as well. Max, any of your guys do commercial stuff?
Yeah, we have a lot of people that do commercial actually, and I see it being something. I see a couple people are maybe a little bit scared of it right now, but my clients that have been doing it for a very long time and they really know the market, they're actually embracing it and they're actually excited for it.
Fantastic. So, what we tell our agents is that, other companies are trying to do the same thing. You're going to see Keller Williams partnered with one of the big three. You're going to see Redfin partnered with one of the big three. Coldwell Banker, they're partnered with Home Partners of America. What we're doing instead is creating this marketplace of buyers. So we are attracting institutional investors just like yourself all across the country. There is some criteria that you need to meet in terms of buying number of homes. So we need to make sure that you've got a little bit of experience. And right now our benchmark is 25. So we're looking for investors who have done at least 25 homes in the last 12 months. Now, look, I get it. COVID, oh my gosh, everybody, the inventory's dried up. iBuyers that were doing, 100 houses last year are, 50%. So we get it. There's some flexibility there. But you do have to have a track record of buying houses. And plus, you'll also be able to have to prove in cash, not hard money, in cash in the bank that you can buy in cash for whatever price range you set your buy box up for. So in other words, if you typically buy 0 to 250,000 in your marketplace, we're going to have a proof of funds letter from your bank that says you have at least $250,000 in cash. Okay, we can't use any hard money. So when we go through the onboarding process and we hold your hand and we step you through it step by step, one of the things that we have to do during the onboarding process is make sure that your articles of incorporation match your proof of funds, match the buying name that you're going to use on your contracts, match the buyer that's actually on the closing statement itself. So all of those things have to match, okay? Let me go ahead and go through these slides and then we'll circle back with questions. So right now, this is our saturation map of the United States. The dark blue states are open to express offers. So that means our agents actually have live buy boxes that they can submit potential properties to for your consideration. The light blue states are coming soon, which means we've got buyers who have raised their hand and we're just working them through the iBuyer onboarding process right now. And the gray states, we don't have a buyer, although Mississippi, Julie, we're gonna have to change Mississippi to blue. We just talked to that guy last week, to light blue. So we're almost there, guys. We're a few states away from having this open nationally and actually open to all 34,000 agents. Here's a little bit of platform statistics so that you know kind of what we're doing here. We've got 1,585 certified agents. So that means that they've gone through almost 7 hours worth of training. They've jumped through the hoops we've asked them to jump through. They've logged into the platform and they now qualify for our lead generation program, as well as are trained to go out into the market to look for sellers that need a convenience option. And that's basically what we teach them. They need to present all offers to a potential seller. And there's a huge difference between convenience and top dollar. Okay. Right now, because of COVID, because of inventory shortages, even the most crappy houses are getting closer to top dollar right now because there's no inventory. It's about supply and demand. And by the way, I really didn't go into my resume at all, but I'm a 26-year real estate veteran. I've worn every hat in this industry. I have investment properties myself. And so I feel pretty comfortable talking about this, but you know, my perspective is usually going to be from the real estate side, not necessarily the investor side of things. Okay. So we've had 2,849 of our agents log into the platform and review the buy boxes. We have had, now, I should have given you a little more background too. This was an idea last July. This was just an idea. So I was hired in August of 2019. I think Julie was hired in July of 2019. This was an idea that we brought to fruition, and we started beta testing our idea in September. So September, October, November, we were in beta. We were only open in California, had the California agents running hard, testing this out. We opened Florida, and then January of this year, we started opening this up to iBuyers, started opening this up to all of our states, right? So, and then March, you know, the sky fell. We all know in March, you know, and the whole COVID thing hit. So good and bad, I suppose. On the one hand, with the COVID thing, we got a ton of agents trained up and engaged in the training, because what else were they going to do, right? But sit here in front of the computer all day. So that was cool. Except, you know, the inventory started drying up and the agents were having harder time finding properties to submit, getting sellers to consider selling their home. They didn't want any traffic. Actually, this was a great, that's why we've had over 1,000 offers. If you look at the screen, we've got 1,063 offers that have been made by buyers. And that's from the sellers who did not want to stage, did not want to show, didn't want people walking through their house, all of the things that COVID went with. I mean, so we kind of had a double-edged sword here, but you know, this is what we've got. Of those, and we didn't put it on the slide just because nobody likes us to publish it, because it's always misunderstood, okay? We've had 25 closings, and you go, ugh, 25 closings, well, that's nothing. Let me put it into a little bit of perspective for you that you have to understand, okay? The big three, all right? Open Door, OfferPad, Zillow offers. Billions, B, billions of VC money goes into those companies. They market directly to the consumer. Okay. In their most concentrated markets, and these are proven statistics, I'm not making this up, in their most concentrated markets, which are Raleigh, North Carolina, and Phoenix, Arizona, they can only obtain about a 6% market share. It's actually a little under 6% now, okay, after billions of dollars, right? So when we started down this road, we knew we were not going to spend billions of dollars. We were not going to market directly to the consumer. What we are going to do instead is train agents to go out into their backyard to hunt out sellers that need this option. Okay. So, we've spent the salaries of about 5 people and, some SEO and some website designers and things like that. We haven't spent billions of dollars. 1,063 offers have been made, 25 closings out of that. That is a 2.3 conversion rate. Okay, so you got 6% conversion in the most concentrated areas with billions of dollars. You've got EXP Realty with 34,000 agents at a 2.3 conversion with 1,000 offers in about 8 months. I would say not bad. Hope you would agree. Hope you'd agree. And I hope I painted you a pretty clear picture. In our minds, we're doing pretty darn good. And we think it's only going to get better when they start releasing, more of the COVID stuff. And here's what I heard the other day. I'll share with you real quick. Illinois Realtors, which I'm on a bunch of committees and crap. But anyway, they said that statistically, the bottleneck in the inventory right now isn't because sellers don't want to sell. There's a ton of pent-up demand for sellers to sell. It's because they don't have anything to buy. Isn't that interesting? I did the same thing, Max. I went, I didn't think about it that way. Sellers aren't selling because they don't have anything to buy. So it's kind of this weird bottleneck dynamic that's going on right now that, I don't know if the institutional investors are going to have a way to help us through that or not, or we're just going to have to wait until things really start opening up after, our post-Armageddon days, I guess. So.
Once the world opens back up again.
Yeah, right. So a couple benefits to our investors. This is a new lead source for you. Look, you guys, I just gave you the statistics, right? 2.3% conversion, which means you might have to look at 100 different property submissions before you land on 1, 2, or 3. Okay, that's how it goes. Okay, this isn't going to be a slam dunk every property submission. Either it might not fit your model, it might not fit your investment strategy. The property may not have, might not need enough rehab. The agents are taught to paint you as best of picture as they can during their property submission. So the agent goes out to the seller. They talk about top dollar versus convenience. Okay, if they need convenience, well, why might a seller need convenience, and why might they be willing to take a haircut to get that convenience, right? Well, tons of reasons, divorce, death, job transfer, bankruptcy, default. All of those reasons are why a seller might say, hey man, I don't care if I take a haircut. I just want, I want a little bit of money. I got to get out of here. I'm done. Let's do it. Right? That's where you guys come in. That's what our agents are looking for. Okay. So if they choose convenience, they're going to get a disclosure signed, and the disclosure basically outlines our platform, tells the consumer what we're doing. They also have to get a compensation agreement, because you guys don't pay our agents. Okay. In most states where dual agency is allowed, our EXP agent's always going to be a dual agent from an agency standpoint, but you guys will pay a platform fee, not commission to the realtor. Okay. The realtor commission comes from the seller. And our disclosure is very clear, telling the seller that they are only going to pay our agent the listing side of the commission. Okay. Now, of course, I'm going to use numbers just for an educational purpose. We are not price fixing or doing any of that crazy stuff. But let's just say that I charge 6%. Okay. And a standard listing, right? In an express offer scenario, I'm only going to charge the seller 3 for the listing side. So the seller gets a significantly discounted commission. Okay. The iBuyer only pays our platform fee, and that's per closed transaction. Right now, that fee is $2,400. And by the way, we did a whole lot of research before we started down this road, and we discovered after interviewing many, many, many institutional investors, big and small, typically their cost of acquisition per property was about $4,500. Now remember, we were only interviewing the real big boys, and they were factoring in marketing and staffing and rehab and all of those things, but their cost of acquisition across the board average was 4,500. So we cut it to 24. So now the seller's getting a discount on the commission. The iBuyer is getting a discount on the acquisition fee of the property, $2,400. Okay. And so the seller's going to pay the commission to the agent. You guys get to pick your title and escrow company, whoever you're familiar with using, that's fine. We also have another option of Silverline Title, which is our internal title company. You guys can choose. They're promising us they're going to give you guys great fees, great discounts on the closing and title fees. So we can always explore what Silverline will do for you. The closing costs are your choice. So most of the time when we create the agent documents, and those are the documents that the agent's going to use for presentation to the seller, you guys will create up front a letter of intent and an agent guidelines doc. You don't really have to worry about what that means right now, but basically it's your terms. It's the terms of your purchase that we're going to establish up front. The agent gets these documents as presentation pieces so that they can present your offer to the seller. But typically in the letter of intent, the closing costs will say whatever's typical for the marketplace. Or sometimes because the buyer, you, wants to be competitive, sometimes the buyer will say, we'll cover all the closing costs. Sometimes because the buyer wants to have larger margins, they'll say, no, the seller pays all the closing costs. So it's going to depend on your strategy, on your model, what you're using in terms of how you want to set that up. But we'll set all of that up front. So who's your title and escrow? What are your closing costs? Who do you want to pay them? All of that is established up front. Here are what we lovingly call our rules of engagement. Okay, so during the onboarding process, I'm actually going to send you an email and it's going to have these 8 rules on it, and you're going to have to say, yeah, I agree. Okay, there's no signature. I'm not asking you for a pint of blood, but these are our rules of engagement. Okay, so cash only, no assignments of contracts, no wholesaling. Actually, Julie made me add no assignments of contracts. It used to just say no wholesaling, but I've discovered there's a whole lot of definitions for wholesaling. And so basically what you need to know, I've already alluded to it, articles have to match proof of funds, have to match buyer on the contract, have to match buyer on the closing statement. Okay. We can't allow our iBuyers to have an internal brokerage serving outside consumers. So if you are licensed or some of your staff are licensed and you have those licenses obviously as part of your model so that you can earn commissions, another revenue stream, I get it. As long as you are serving your company in terms of listing and selling your own inventory, your own portfolio, we're cool with that. We don't mind. If your brokerage that you own is serving the outside consumer, listing and selling properties, we consider that a competing brokerage and we would not allow you on our platform. Does that make sense, Max?
That does. It makes
Okay.
sense. You just don't want, again, a lot of real estate is you don't want to mix, commingle, but except with funds now with customers.
Right. We don't want to, well, and we don't want to serve up properties to the investors only for them to be out soliciting their own listings that aren't even
Right.
investor deals, right?
This is a
Because
numbers game. You found the best way to make it all happen. You want to make sure that, hey, whoever's in this program is going to close and it's you that's closing and you're buying.
Well, that's right. And what we really want you guys to do is to relist those properties with the EXP agent that served it up. Remember, they're taking a haircut on the listing commission. They're only getting the listing side, right? They're not getting paid by you. And if they do relist, I'm going to jump to number 7. If they do relist the property, they're expecting to get back a fully rehabbed, beautiful, top of the market property, right? And they're going to do it for you guys at 1.5%. Now, of course, you'll have to decide what the co-op is. So if your co-op commission will, I mean, if your market will support a co-op of 2.5, your total will be 4. If it'll support 3, then it'll, be 4.5. I mean, you guys see how this works, right? 1.5% is for the listing side, the EXP listing agent, to put that rehab property back on the market for you.
So just to,
Again,
I was just going to add in those for those who are not realtors and don't understand the co-op side. What she means is the buyer's agent.
right.
You're paying the other side of the agent to get it done. So that's something that you offer in the MLS, and you put it up there and just say, hey, this is what we're offering.
Right. Right. So it's a great incentive, right? It's an incentive for the agents to serve you up more properties if they think they're going to get the listing back if you buy it, right? So when you onboard in our platform, you get to decide at that point whether yes, you will relist with the EXP agent or no. If it's no, it's okay. That's fine. They're still going to serve up properties to you, but it is an incentive for the agent if they're going to get the listing back. Okay. Let me go back up to number 3. If we onboard your company, we need you to be able to respond to a property submission within 48 business. That should be hours, but yeah, 48 hours. Okay, 2 days. And that's because, we've got a seller waiting, hanging on the hook. We got a seller waiting to decide what their next move is, and time is of the essence. So when you get a property submission through the platform, you'll get an email saying, hey, you've got a property to consider. You're going to log into the platform. On the screen, you're going to see all of the property statistics. So an agent will submit, it's almost like an MLS submission. Okay, so you'll see all the utility, bedrooms, baths, basement, garage. You will see a property condition report, which is a 3-page checklist of the features and condition of the property. So it's going to tell you, what kind of flooring, what kind of countertops, is there tile, is there carpet, what kind of roof, is there central air, is there a furnace. It's going to give you all of those property statistics. And the agents are also required to take 14 photos minimum, required photos, 14 of the property. A lot of them are going to give you more. So when you log into the platform, you're going to be able to see all of this data. You're going to have 48 hours to run your due diligence, decide if this is a property that's right for you, and then you're going to have 2 choices inside the platform. You're going to have to offer, or you're going to have to pass. And if you pass, sorry about that. If you pass, we're going to ask you to give a reason why. Again, it's kind of a learning curve thing for the agents. If you tell them why it didn't fit, then of course they won't submit another property like that to you again. We'd like to think, right? So we want you to give them a reason if you pass. And by the way, no minimum buying criteria at all. You can buy as many, or you can pass on as many properties as you'd like. Okay, no minimum buying. So if you pass on everything, we don't care, right?
Okay. So you just
Okay.
have to purchase enough to do that.
Pardon me?
You just have to be in business to do enough deals, but you don't necessarily have to buy a minimum deals.
Correct.
Makes sense.
Yep, correct. So we already talked about the platform fee being $2,400. There's no fee to join or onboard or any of that. You only pay that platform fee when you actually close on a property, and we'll send you an invoice prior to the closing, and then that invoice needs to be paid on the closing. I don't know what you guys call it. What state are you guys in? I forgot.
So I'm in New York, so it's usually closing disclosure, HUD, CD. They have so many different names.
Yeah, they do. And so that's what closing statement means, guys. Okay. HUD, master settlement statement, whatever. The $2,400 platform fee needs to be paid out of closing proceeds. Okay.
So,
We already talked about relisting with the EXP agent for 1.5%. And the only thing that we're going to ask you to update every 60 days is going to be that proof of funds letter. Now, We understand, guys, that money ebbs and flows in investments. Sometimes you're fat, sometimes you're thin. We get it. So, when you know that 60 days is coming up, you're going to kind of want to print me out something that's fat, right? This proof of funds letter legitimizes your offer being cash with the seller. Okay, we can't have it older than 60 days because then, you guys know what a proof of funds is, right? The seller wants to make sure that you can get to a closing table in cash. We have to be able to prove that. So we're going to have to update your proof of funds every 60 days. You'll have to send us a new one.
Makes sense.
And my friends, that is it. I'm going to stop sharing.
That is awesome. So, if you don't mind, I guess I'll start off with a couple of quick questions. And guys, for everyone that was listening, anyone that has any questions, please do put it in for us in the chat, the Q&A, so that Terri can make sure she answers them for you. So my first question that I have, that's as a hard money lender, I have to ask this question: Are they allowed to, even let's just say I have 250 in cash. I show you my 250 cash. But now they have a lender that says, hey, you know what? Don't use your 250. I'm going to give it to you anyways, but you have it if you need to close on it. Is that allowed? Can they close hard money as long as they still have the cash, or is that not allowed?
I'm going to go la 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 to that, Max, because here's what I know.
Okay,
Okay. We are advertising this program to the consumer is that our investors are buying in cash.
got it.
Okay. I've heard tell of a few scenarios where not necessarily in our program, but it was the deal was written as cash. Then the investor tries to switch it to financing, and there's issues with the title company. I don't necessarily know what those issues are, but there are issues. Okay, so I'm going to tell you from a program management perspective that you've demonstrated you can buy in cash. You should buy in cash.
Got it. Okay. So for anyone who does look to leverage themselves, just so they know, that doesn't disqualify you from using hard money. What that just means is you wait till after you purchase it and you do
That's
a
right.
so
That's right.
with cash, we'll fund it back the next day, the next 2 days, whatever it may be. Get you that liquidity back so that you could send Terri another proof of funds with the exact same amount or maybe a little bit less and get to your
Right.
next project.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right, Max. And that's the best way to play this because let me tell you a little bit about what I know that's happened with Open Door. And I'm not disparaging another company, but what I know is that if you go look on Yelp and you start looking at their Yelp reviews, the consumers are just mopping the floor with them.
Yeah,
And it's basically because they're going out, they're using the automated valuation models, they're making an offer of, I don't know, 275, let's say, right? They send their team out. Of course, the consumer isn't well versed enough to paint a good picture of their own home, or maybe they're just fudging, thinking they're going to get the money anyway, right? Open Door sends their team out, does a home inspection, and come to find out there's $35,000 worth of repairs that need to be done that weren't put into the original submission from the consumer. This is where they're running into so much trouble. Our agents are going to paint the right picture for you guys, right? Consumer doesn't paint the right picture, so they go out and they get the the $35,000 discrepancy, and they want to renegotiate. Well, the seller just thought that they were getting 275 for the house, and now they're not going to take a $35,000 haircut. So they are mad. The deals blow up, and and then of course the consumer who found the big three on the internet to begin with and went click, click, click at 11 o'clock at night, thought they were going to run all the way to the bank with their money. Of course, the deal's dead. They go on Yelp. They're doing these horrible reviews. So what we're trying to do is kind of curtail any of that. We really, and I tell those stories during training. I want the agents to understand that, look, they're a dual agent. They work for you just as much as the seller. We want a seller to walk away happy, giving them a convenience option. Don't fudge it. If there's a furnace that's out and it's out, say it's out, because that way these guys can factor it into their offers.
correct.
Yeah,
Yep. We always want to do as much in the front, and this way we have less headache and less on the back end.
that's
And
right.
at the end of the day, I've been a realtor for maybe eight years. At the end of the day, all all we were, and don't take this the wrong way, but we're peacemakers. That's what we do at the end of the day. We are knowledgeable enough in the industry. We're professionals that we live it every day. We know what's the norm. We know what's not the norm. And now we just make peace between two parties.
Yeah.
When you don't have that, that's when you have problems. That's when you have, like you said, the furnace that doesn't work, and now there's no one in between to talk it through. So I
Right.
can definitely see there's always that need for that human interaction, and that's why we said I'm actually very impressed by the way you guys really worked it out, because one of the things I'm sure you are part of all these forums between Facebook and whatever, right? Last 2 years ago, everyone was saying, "Oh, Zillow home offers, and they're going to take us out of business, and all realtors are not going to have a job." But everyone that was in the industry said, well, no, there needs to be a human interaction, because there needs
Yeah.
to be someone that guides it, teaches it, explains it, walks you through it, the professional. And that's honestly what you did. You made two things. You kept the professional in their place,
Right.
made a system that allows the investor to do more, the agent to do more, and everyone in general is just going to be worth doing a lot more business together.
Well, that's our hope. I don't think we're there yet. And, transparent is the best thing I can give you right now because we do still consider this a startup because we've only been at this about 8 months. And of course, now you sprinkle it all with COVID,
Mhm.
the submissions are down. This property submissions that are being put in by the agents are low right now. And, it's because they're having as hard a time finding properties who want to put their house on, or sellers that want to put their house on the market as you guys are. Right? I'm going to ask you up front. First of all, we need investor partners. So we need you guys to be open and give us feedback and let us know what's working, what's not working. We're also going to ask our investors that we onboard to be patient because it's not going to be a flood. It's not going to be a flood of properties right off the bat. It's going to be a one, a two, a three, a few. And then as things start to open up and as we get rolling, it's certainly going to pick up. But the thing is we know we're in the right place at the right time. We're ahead of this. We've tested it. We've practiced it. So when things start to open up, the question mark in the industry right now is what's going to happen with all of these people who are, going to be 4, 5, 6 months behind in their payments. What's going to happen when all the moratoriums are lifted. Now, frankly, I have a crystal ball. It doesn't work very well, but I don't think we're going to go back to the recession days, which, by the way, I survived. But I think we are going to have a uptick in foreclosures. We're going to have an uptick of people who are in default and may love a convenience option. You know what? If I can break even or if I can come out with $10, I'm going to be happy. I just want out.
Right.
So I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities ahead, for partners that I set the right expectations for and are willing to truly partner and help us get this figured out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's exciting, isn't
It
it?
is. No, it is. And you know what? I mean, as much as everyone talks about COVID and all that, I think that this is the perfect time for you guys to even start out with all this. It's remote. You do it from home. You don't have
That's
to
right.
be there. It's easy. It's all on the computer.
That's right.
You ask me, I think you guys did it at the perfect time.
So here's a couple things to think about too.
Um,
So Julie and I have a video where we walk the agent through having this conversation with the seller on Zoom, just like we're doing right now, right?
right?
We teach them how to have the conversation, the words to say. So we give them scripts and dialogues. We have some prospecting techniques that we teach them to use. We've also got another guy in our company who's teaching probate. And so he's a probate guy. He teaches probate and then he's also a fix and flipper. So he's made a ton of money on both sides of the coin. And he's teaching some of our certified agents about probate as another way to find off market properties for you guys. So lots of cool stuff happening.
Oh
It's
yeah.
exciting.
Always be learning, right? Always be
Always be learning. Yeah.
of it. So we actually
Any
got a
more questions?
we got one from Owen actually. So I think you mentioned it before, but he's asking like who are the big three? And I
Mhm.
guess maybe if you don't mind, also I just say I guess one more time, just explaining one more time how you differentiate from them and where you try to stand out.
Sure. So the big three are Open Door, OfferPad, Zillow Offers. Okay. These are corporations that were designed and built solely to offer the consumer this convenience option. Okay. So they spend billions of dollars in SEO and in consumer facing marketing. The consumer comes across the ad, they click because it says you can get an instant cash offer. They click, they fill out a little form, somebody calls them back and gets more information or not. You know, they might fill out enough information that they actually get that instant cash offer. So what the big three are doing, the big three are using those automated valuation models. Okay. So let's say Zillow, the Zestimate, all
Right. If
right.
no one follows and investigate themselves.
Right. Let's say the Zestimate is 250. Well, Zillow offers might offer 230 or 245, which is like, wow, okay, that's close to retail. Cool, right? Last year, folks, Zillow uh, lost on average $4,300 per house on average. That's average. So here's the thing. All right, so how can they afford to bleed that kind of money, right? That's because Zillow offers buying and selling houses is not their end game. Okay? What is Zillow?
Advertising.
A marketing company. Where does Zillow make their money?
Agents.
On real estate agents who will give them thousands of dollars a month for leads. Okay, all they're doing is applying what they've known for years, and they make billions. Their revenue is in the billions per year. So and that was when they were selling buyer leads to realtors across the country. Now they're using that cash offer as a lead gen, and they are simply, swinging the pendulum over to the seller side, and they're doing the exact same thing. They're selling seller leads now back to agents. They're going to make billions, apparently so many billions that they can afford to lose $4,300 per house.
Wow.
Right. Now, open door offer pad, that's not really their game, although that's the direction they're going to go. And of course, realtor.com just jumped on the bandwagon with Zillow. So realtor.com, they're again a marketing site. They're a lead gen tool. They make billions of dollars selling leads to agents. They're doing the exact same thing as Zillow now with seller leads. And they're trying to onboard investor partners just like we're doing. So they kind of took a few plays out of our playbook. Where they're missing the mark there is that they're making their iBuyers jump through a whole lot of hoops. There's no relationship, there's no partnership. And I've just spent so far 45 minutes in front of you guys trying to develop some level of trust so you understand, hey, I know I can pick up the phone, I can call Terri, I can call Arturo, I can talk to Julie, and I can, figure out who these people are, what they're about, and you're never going to get that with realtor.com or Zillow. Just saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that actually opens up the next best question. How do you
Cool.
get in touch with you?
expressoffersteam.com. No, scratch that. Sorry. Julie, help me. I'm fading fast. expressoffersteam at exprealty.com.
Yep.
I'm going to put that in the chat for everybody. So it's Express Offers
Offers
Team.
team at
Yeah.
exprealty.com.
EXPRealty.com. Okay. So Julie, just confirm when I put it in the chat that I got it correct. So if they email here, they'll get in touch with your team, and then someone from your team will get in touch with them and make sure that they go through the entire process with them and make sure they understand it and get them set up.
That is correct. Now, Arturo, because Arturo was the person that recommended that we do this webinar, asked us to come do this webinar for you. You probably are going to want to reach out to Arturo as well, just because he will be considered the referring agent. So how this works, that $2,400 platform fee, Arturo will actually get 1/3 of that, or $800 per closed transaction. And the reason that happens is because it's just Julie and I. Now, mind you, we are very efficient chicks, and we're like peanut butter and jelly. We work so good together. But Arturo will have duties and some functions that he will have to help us with because we're such a lean team. So in exchange for that, he gets a referral fee per transaction.
Yeah, and Max, and I share with you my contact info in that PowerPoint that you can feel free to circulate with all the interesting parties or your database.
Absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and actually email that out to everybody that registered and attended so that they're going to have a copy of that PowerPoint as well as your contact information.
That's
So
great.
anyone that's here today will get it. I just put Arturo's email in the chat as well, guys. So definitely make sure you reach out to him as well. And I just want to say, Terri, that's another thing EXP does very well is kind of branch the system, right? The new multi-level marketing or however you want to really name brand it.
Yeah, we hate that name, just saying.
I most people in that industry hate that word for it. But it's a really good job though of getting everyone kind of interacting with each other and giving everyone a piece of the portion and allowing everyone to do what they do best.
That's it. Look, we don't have to earn 100% of anything, right? There's enough to go around. There's enough properties to go around. There's enough realtors to go around. Right now, our biggest thing is trying to get enough properties for you guys to look at. And so we're doing some things behind the scenes to get agents very engaged. We've got workplace groups. We've got videos that we send them. There's a lot of different things. We've got a new lead gen program that we're getting ready to roll out, so that they can get leads from this as well. You guys can get leads or can actually get referral fees out of this. So let me tell you how. And I know we're getting short on time, so let me tell you how real quick. So if you are a licensee, Max, let's just use you as an example. You have a real estate license, okay? You buy one of our properties, and no, let me back up. You meet a seller who, for whatever reason, you can't do the deal with. Okay. They don't like your offer. There's not enough rehab, whatever the reason. Okay. Your marketing has brought a lead to you. The lead doesn't convert for your business, right? You can actually put that lead into our system. We're going to route it to one of our agents who will probably convert them to a traditional residential listing, right? Sell the property, and you'll get a 25% referral fee from the lead. So you guys are out marketing, we're out marketing, all of this can converge together. And you know what? The rising tide sails all ships. So cliche, but true.
I love it. Well, hey, I mean, I appreciate it, guys. If there's, I see actually, let's see, there's one more question. So Larry Steinhaus is saying, I teach investing and I sometimes go on these webinars to see if anyone has good advice or products. I must say, I am impressed. Very well done, and I endorse you guys for this. Thank Larry, that was awesome.
That was awesome. Thanks, Larry.
That was awesome. And like I said,
Yeah.
I really believe you guys are, doing a really good job at what you're doing. I'm always a little bit skeptical when you hear these new iBuyer programs. There's
Yeah.
a lot of them circulating. Everyone, in real estate of some sort or another that was involved as realtors trying to do it. But to see a really well thought out plan and system, it really is, it's comforting.
Yeah, look, hey, we're not perfect. I'm not, no two ones about it. We're not perfect. We still have plenty to learn. But you know what? Julie and I, our names are all over this.
Right.
And, we have a lot of integrity, and we've got a lot of vested interest, not financially, but just, 7 days a week for the last 12 months of our life has been spent building this. So it's really important we get it right.
Right.
And, we can't get it right without the help of the people who are using it. And so, we're open to listen, we're open to change, we're small, so we're agile. I mean, we can pretty much do anything on the fly. So it's working really well for us.
Yep. Absolutely. That's why they need
Yeah.
your feedback, everybody. So those
Yeah.
who are using them, definitely make sure to give the feedback, because the better they get, the better off you're going to be.
That's right. And, Max, thank you so much for inviting us. Arturo, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a great rest of the Tuesday or Monday. Small.
It's still a Monday, first day of the week, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, hey,
So
thank you guys so much for
we're
sharing.
here for
You
you.
guys were very informative. You guys did a very good job. Thank you again.
Yeah.
And guys, anyone that needs to reach out, their email's in the chat box. You can get it right now. Don't wait. Email them now. They'll get in touch with you. And for anyone who is waiting for it, we're going to send out the presentation in the email tomorrow. Make sure you have all that information there for you.
Max, I need your contact info. So when you get a minute, shoot me an email with your contact info.
Absolutely, we'll do.
Okay.
Again,
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. Good luck. Go out and make lots of money.
Absolutely. Do it.
All right. See ya.
Everyone.